Much like the movie, the score for Gladiator II has got a lot to live up to. The score for the original Gladiator, which the vinyl is just behind me there, is one of the best of all time, if not the best piece of film music, I think, ever. It's definitely a top 5. Now You Are Free, the main theme from Gladiator, by Hans Zimmer, I cannot listen to that without crying, genuinely. Can't listen to it without, floods of tears, appearing. So when the vinyl soundtrack for Gladiator 2 was put up for pre-order, I was like, take my money. So let's take a look. There's the front cover. And the back cover. So it is a double vinyl. And the inside, that's, let's go full screen here. It's maybe not the best shot for poor Pedro there. He does look like a bit of a scared wee boy there. Hopefully that's not a spoiler for the movie for anyone. There's no liner notes by the looks of it. We just have the double gatefold and 2 sleeves with the record. Now I think there might be 3 different variants of this on offer. There's the regular black vinyl. There's the translucent orange, which is what this one is, which is the one I've got. And then there's the, I think it's called like a limited edition sand version, which would be, kind of similar to this, I would guess. But yeah, let's throw it on the turntable and have a listen. There's also a good video on Edith Bowman's sound tracking YouTube channel, which I'll link to below. She interviews Ridley Scott and he talks about the movie in general, but he also goes into some specifics about the score, how it relates to Gladiator 1, the through line from Gladiator 1 to Gladiator 2, from Hans Zimmer to Harry Gregson-Williams. So I'll link to that below as well. Okay, so we've got it spinning on the turntable there. It's piping through the system into the headphones here. I'm not going to play it on the video here because we'll get hit with a copyright strike, but I'll link to like an official playlist here on YouTube if there is one. The track I've got it queued up to is "The Dream Is Lost." It's on side D, so the kind of the fourth side. It's the standout cue on this track for me. It's kind of like a reworking of the main cue from Hans Zimmer's Gladiator score, but it's put its own twist on it. Harry Gregson-Williams has put his own twist on it, and I think that's the overall theme with Gladiator 2. It's my review for that I'll link to below as well. I did quite like it. I gave it 8 out of 10. The score, much like the movie, follows a similar blueprint to the first score, to the first movie's score, but puts enough of its own twist on it to make it its own unique thing. It's kind of an impossible, thankless task to take on the score of Gladiator 2, following on from Hans Zimmer's score for Gladiator 1. There's a good article in Curzon, or on the Curzon website, by Amon Warmann, when he interviewed Hans Zimmer about various things, but he did ask him about Gladiator 2. I'll read a little bit of it here, but I'm paraphrasing here. He basically says, Gladiator takes a special place in my heart. I think it's completely undisciplined. It wouldn't have mattered if I had written the most amazing score, because the music in the first movie sticks in people's hearts. I had the experience of doing the live action version of The Lion King. I tried to step out of my own vocabulary. Every time I did, it just didn't work. So all I could do was repeat myself. You owe it to yourself and to the audience to try new things. And I want to say something else about Gladiator 2. This is Hans Zimmer speaking here. Harry Gregson-Williams started out as my assistant. He's very good friends with both Tony and Ridley Scott. Harry is family for me. He's a phenomenal composer. The film is in really good hands. Trust me, Harry and I have spoken about it. He feels the old score barking at his heels a little bit, so he's on his A game. That kind of puts it better than I think anyone else could. That's Hans Zimmer speaking about Harry Gregson-Williams and Harry Gregson-Williams taking on the score for Gladiator II. I'll link to that article below. It's a good read. But yeah, the score for Gladiator 2, much like the movie, it's really good. Doesn't quite reach the highs of the original one, again, much like the movie, but it's definitely a record that I'm happy to add to my collection. And it's almost like I don't want to say a palette cleanser, but it's a nice change, it's a nice variation on the original Gladiator soundtrack, because I've listened to the original Gladiator soundtrack lots, dozens and dozens and dozens of times. I'll still go back to it and listen to it dozens and dozens and dozens of times, but to have the score for Gladiator 2, which is its own thing, but also has reworkings of cues from Gladiator 1, it's nice to have that. So I kind of think of the score for Gladiator 2 like an alt of the score for Gladiator 1, as well as being its own thing, which can only be a good thing. So if you're a fan of film soundtracks or film scores, if you're a fan of Gladiator, and obviously Gladiator 2, this is a good soundtrack to own. Gladiator 2, Harry Gregson-Williams. I'll link to the version that I got below, but as I said, there's the black version and I think the Sands version, which is like a slightly less vibrant orange. That's us, folks. Thanks very much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about the score for Gladiator 2.